Hello, this is the TradeSight Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, April 26, 2015 and ending Friday, May 1st, 1st of May, 2015. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. Hope you had a good trading week. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. You can see the 13 sell signal we had 2 weeks ago, and so far that has definitely caused the market to roll from that point. Look for the red line at the bottom, the static trend line, to be the target on the downside. And if we can crack this 96, just above 96 area of support, we should really accelerate down to that point. So that's the current state of the dollar index anyway. It's pretty straightforward. Here's the euro dollar, just the inverse of the dollar index, heading back up. The green line is the static trend line target. Pound dollar, a little bit faster moving than the euro right now, and again, green target would be a static trend line. Still a lot of room to get there. If we could get there in just 2 or 3 days, it would give us some decent ranges for those days and some trading opportunities. Here's the Aussie dollar. It's been very flat and narrow lately for the last 3 months, basically, since the start of February. Still sitting at the same price that you started February. Here's the New Zealand dollar. Dollar almost made it back to the green static trend line on Wednesday. And here's a cross pair of the pound yen, just to show you some movement there. All right, so overall, it was an okay week. Let's take a look at the intra-week action. It's 30-minute bars on the euro dollar. High to low was about 240 pips, almost exactly, which is okay, not stellar. But the good news was there was some movement back and forth. It wasn't just a bunch of flat days. You can see we started pretty flat from Sunday's action. Monday we head lower and into Tuesday. Gave us the low of the week. Rebounded 100-something pips on Wednesday. Came back near the lows on Thursday. And then from Thursday midday till Friday midday, climbed the whole 240 pips to the high of the week. And basically, the net for the week, we closed up about 70 pips. Here's a look at the pound dollar, the other one we trade commonly. And this one had a little more range, about 335 pips of range or so, 330 pips, I guess. Opened flat for the week. This one drifted more Monday and into Tuesday and then picked up. And basically, from the low on Tuesday, several days of big movement to the upside. We had a couple of winners there to close out the week. So that's the state of the market. I wouldn't say the movement was overly exciting this week. And the setups, I think the main thing is that dollar continuing to head lower off of that sell signal. Let's take a look at the economic data that's coming out this week and get ourselves prepared for what is coming. We've got the IMF meetings this week. We've got the New Zealand CPI Sunday night. UK's right move housing price index, Japan's tertiary industry activity. Going into Monday, which is a light day, no data in the US at all. Europe's got Germany's PPI and BUBA monthly report. Canada got a speech. Australia got a speech, and the monetary policy meeting minutes from the last Bank of Australia meeting. Tuesday, German and broad European zoo economic sentiment, 30-year bond auction out of the UK, wholesale sales out of Canada, trade balance out of Japan. Once again, no U.S. data to speak of here. No, you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize for this whole thing. I'm on the wrong week. Let's skip ahead. New Zealand bank holiday to start the week. We've got Germany. I thought some of that sounded familiar. Got German import prices on Monday, but again, there really is no U.S. data. Just that flash services PMI at 9:45 a.m. in the morning. Retail sales out of Japan, Australia's CB leading index. Heading into Tuesday, we've got the first look at GDP from the UK. Canada got one speech. U.S. consumer confidence and the S&P housing price index plus the Richmond manufacturing index. That night, we've got the New Zealand trade balance. Japan goes on bank holiday going into Wednesday. We've got business confidence out of New Zealand, Switzerland's UBS consumption indicator, the UK nationwide housing price index, German preliminary CPI, European money supply and private loans. So we're halfway through the week at this point with nothing really major. Italian 10-year bond auction, UK 10-year bond auction. Canada does their RMPI and IPPI. And then here it is, once every quarter, this number, the first look at U.S. GDP for the first quarter. This is a big, important number. Market will react to this number. This is not as important. I mean, it's more important than the other two revisions that come later in the quarter. So this is it, once a quarter, and the market will probably wait for this and spike. We usually go half size ahead of this number because of the spikes that come out of it, so be careful. Pending home sales in the U.S., crude oil inventories, and look, a Fed meeting. We've got a 2-day Fed meeting this week as well. awkward to have that GDP number on the second day of the Fed meeting. So you're going to have everybody waiting for the Fed and waiting for the GDP. Then the GDP comes out, and then you go back to waiting for the Fed for a few more hours. Then you've got Bank of New Zealand has their essentially Fed equivalent rate announcement. Building consents out of New Zealand, consumer confidence out of the UK, preliminary industrial production out of Japan, import prices out of Australia, monetary policy statement out of the Bank of Japan, so another one just like the Fed here in the Australian equivalent. Got the Japanese number. Housing starts, German retail sales, Bank of Japan's press conference from the announcement, French consumer spending, Spanish flash CMI, Spanish flash GDP, German unemployment change, ECB economic bulletin out of Europe, Italian monthly unemployment rate, CPI flash estimate out of Europe, the unemployment rate out of Europe, bunch of data right there that's important out of Europe over a 2-hour period. Canada's gross domestic product. We've got the unemployment claims out of the U.S. We've got core PCE price index out of the U.S., the employment cost index out of the U.S., personal income and spending out of the U.S., Chicago PMI here, natty gas, that's the weekly number. That night, Thursday night, AIG manufacturing index out of Australia. We've got Japan's unemployment rate, household spending, national and Tokyo CPI data. Bank holiday for China going into Friday, but they're releasing their manufacturing and non-manufacturing PMI numbers anyways. Australia's PPI, Japan's final manufacturing PMI. And then bank holidays around the globe, except for in the U.S. on Friday, May 1st, May Day. France, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, all on bank holidays. Commodity prices from Australia comes out overnight. Manufacturing PMI of the UK. Mortgage approvals. Final manufacturing PMI and ISM manufacturing PMI here in the U.S. Revised Michigan sentiment. Now we're into May, by the way, but that's the April number. Construction spending, ISM manufacturing prices, and total vehicle sales. So what are the focus points? Obviously, the GDP number for here in the U.S., that's a big one Wednesday morning. The 2-day Fed meeting culminating Wednesday. The fact that we've got a lot of bank holidays around the world on Friday is going to slow things down for Friday. So that's what we'll be focused on. We'll be half size ahead of that GDP number. As usual, we'll be in the lab trying to help you out on the Forex trading. If you have not taken a trial of our services, you can, and we'll help you out for a couple weeks. If you do find these videos useful, despite my restart on the calendar, please like them on YouTube. It does help us out. Have a great trading week.